Hello and welcome to a push a day routine for flat bench style Bowflexes. Go ahead and set up your bench at this angle position, wait to rack up your resistance, and we'll be doing that after a little 4-minute warm up. But first, I got to tell you about today's routine and this brand new program I'm releasing called Foundations. And Foundations is all about building a solid base. And for some people, they want that solid base just for more mobility, quality of life improvements. Other people want it for athletics. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to look and feel good. And this program is designed for all of those people. One great thing about resistance training is you set your own difficulty level. So, somebody that's a little bit more advanced coming into this, just, you increase your weight. If you're kind of a newer or beginner, you can have a little bit lower weight setting. But we're all going to be using the exact same technique, and we're going to be writing down our resistance as we go. And there's a link to a PDF that you can download that's part of this routine that there's space where it tells you the lift you're doing. You can write down the weight setting you did and the number of reps you did. And what we're going to do is we're going to come back to this routine multiple times if you're doing the program, and then you can focus on increasing those numbers. And that's going to be how you get stronger, is using this progressive overload, slowly increasing that resistance. And it really helps to have this data to do it. So PDF is free. If you want to buy the program, there's a link to it in the description as well. It's going to get you a spreadsheet that's going to help put a little bit more of this together for you. And then also that supports me directly. So thank you for that. So this routine though, and writing all of our resistance down, this is a bit different. This is hypertrophy. A lot of the routines on the channel are HIIT style routines, and they use this clock. We're still going to use the clock basically to count our rest intervals. So, we keep on schedule here. And our rest intervals are going to be a bit longer. We're going to have about a minute between every set, and that's going to let us fully recover so then we can hit the next set with maximum effort. So throughout this routine, you're also going to see me use this new elastic band weight upgrade here. And one thing that I've struggled with on designing this routine, and why it's taken me so long to put out a program like this for this machine, is the resistance of the stock Bowflex just is not where I felt it needed to be to really get a good hypertrophy workout in, for at least somebody that's pretty advanced in weightlifting. So this weight upgrade kit, this is available for purchase the day this video launches. I'll have a link in the description. It's going to have all the info about this weight upgrade kit. And I kind of approach this as, the Bowflex had a few shortcomings, and how would I design an upgrade kit to this Bowflex to make it what I want this to be as a home gym? And that's what this upgrade kit is. It's more resistance, and it's all replaceable. There's a ton of resistance that you can add, more than double the resistance of this machine. It's got some other handles, it's got a bar, all sorts of good stuff. And I've been working on it for several months. I'm really happy with how this came out. So if you need more resistance, make sure you check that out. And that's going to help you get the most out of this machine. And it's going to give you no excuses. And all you got to do is just put in the work. And let's do that now. All right, 90 seconds of jogging in place here. Just trying to get warm so we can get a nice stretch going. While we're doing this, let me tell you about today's lifts. Our first lift is going to be chest press, and everything here is going to be at this angled bench position. And for chest press, I'm normally pretty disappointed with the stock resistance out of the Bowflex, and that's really where this resistance kit comes in. Get a really satisfying weight that I can actually take to failure. From there, we're going into some chest fly, same position. Going to drop the weight just a little bit. I'm going to keep the weight setting the same and go right into a shoulder press. And then we have some tricep extension from that position. And then from there, we'll finish up with a single arm shoulder fly. So hitting our chest, hitting our triceps, and our shoulders throughout this routine. And that's what we're going to be focusing on, stretching out here in just a moment. All right, another 10 seconds or so. I'm going to start things off with some saucers, where I'm going to pretend my nose is at the center of a spiral. Let's get into this now and slowly trace it out. We're trying to loosen up our neck. Just a little bit here. All right, let's change directions and slowly bring it in. Okay, I'm gonna go into some torso twists, hands in front of me, and then I'm gonna spin back and forth, kind of like I'm elbowing all these people around me. Just grab the rebound, get out of the way here, loosen up your back and your spine. Up next, we're gonna go into some arm circles here. Arms fully extended here. All right, let's change directions, go the other way. And now I'm gonna go into some arm swings here. Loosen up that chest, and then let's pull this arm across our body, or you can bring it over your head, stretch out that tricep. All right, back to swings, and let's do the pull. Now from here, I like going into some YTW. So we're gonna put our hands up nice and high, stretch out really high, and then bring your hands together. That'd be your Y. T is gonna be out wide, stretch it out real good, bring it together, and then make a W here. Really get a nice squeeze in your back, and then bring it together. So not about going quickly here, just get a full stretch, bring it together, stretch it all the way out, and together, and then a W. And together. So we're going to repeat this a few times. Y all the way up, together, T out wide, together, and a W, together, back up high, together, T, together, and a W. So for the last few seconds here, you can do whatever you want to do. I'm going to just loosen up my fingers here, my grip here, with some finger pulls. And as this counts down, we're gonna rack up our resistance. So again, I'm gonna have my bench at this angled position here. And for my resistance setting, I'm gonna be using these bands. I'm gonna use 2 black bands plus 80 pounds of power rods. So for me, that's kind of about 160 pounds of resistance. And that's definitely a heavy weight setting. You're gonna see me struggle with this. You'll find the resistance setting that works for you. For a medium weight setting, I still think I would need some bands here. You might be able to go with just 80 pounds of power rods. In a lightweight setting, I go maybe 50 pounds of power rods. So let me go ahead and get my bands all hooked up down here. Again, these hook up really, really easily, and we're all set up to go. So for chest press, bench at this angled position, then I have my handles underneath my hands here. I'm going to go slide up against this backrest here, back firmly up against it, and then I will press this weight out in front of me here. So everybody join me here in 3, 2, 1, and we're going to be counting our reps. That's 1. Exhale as you press out, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, take it nice and slow, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. So let's write down that weight setting and the number of reps we did. And then you could adjust this as needed. You know, if you had a lot more reps after you hit the 10 mark, maybe you did 12, you might want to bump it up a bit. I'm targeting 10 reps for each set here, and that felt pretty good. So I'm going to stay steady with this lift here. Now for my black bands, I count these as 40 pounds per band plus the power rod. So I basically have 160 racked up on each side, and that is Bowflex resistance. I kind of compare this to benching about 160 pounds here, because each side is really kind of about half. But let's get in position here. And exhale, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, let's write it down here. And we're getting a little bit more than 1 minute of recovery time for this first exercise. I always just want a little bit more recovery for bench press to, you're using a lot of muscle groups, a lot of bigger muscle groups. So nice to have a little bit more recovery time in here. We got 2 more of these coming up. So when we get down to about the 5 or 10 second mark, I want you seated, get in position and ready to go. And again, we're going to be exhaling as we press out, and we're going to take it slowly back and keep repeating. All right, so let's get our hands on the handles here. Leaning back, and here we go. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, 1 more of those. Make sure you're writing this all down. So we've got this set of chest press coming up, and then we're going in the chest fly after that. In doing that, I'll be dropping my resistance by a 30-pound power rod. But it might seem like we will have a lot of different resistance changes throughout today's routine. If you're writing everything down using the PDF or the spreadsheet, you're gonna have a lot easier time when you come back to this routine. You'll know what you did last time. That's gonna help you on setting up your weight setting and keeping up with everything. So we got 1 more set of chest press though. Let's get in position here. Focus on finishing this out strong. In position, 2, 1, and press. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, I did not make it through all 10. I'm gonna count them out though, as if I did, just to help you keep pace. I only knocked out 7 there. And let's get set up for our chest fly. So bench, everything is gonna be in the same position. I'm just gonna drop my weight by about 10%. So I'm taking out a 30-pound power rod. It's a little bit more than 10%, I guess. Was that about 20%? Whatever. We're gonna go ahead and get set up here. And Hands are gonna be gripped out wide here. And so I'm gonna kind of have this open grip. Of course, I'm gonna close my hand around the grip here. And then we're gonna bring these handles together in front of us and then slowly take it out wide and keep repeating. So let's get in position here. Arms out, extended wide. Bring them together. That's 1, 2, and the handles do not need to tap. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, let's get it written down. You know, adjust that weight setting if you need to. And we got one more set of this chest fly before we go into some shoulder work. So we've got longer recovery periods in all these lifts relative to the HIIT style stuff. So this is going to allow us to really recover and then hit each of these sets really hard. So I really want you pushing, especially on the last exercise of each set, you know, take it to failure or, you know, get really close to that point. So let's get our hands on the handles, bring it together. There we go. That's 1. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. So next step, we're going to shoulder press. I'm going to leave my weight setting exactly the same, and we'll get into that in just a second. Okay, for shoulder press, we are going to be leaning up against the seat here. And for chest press, we had the weight underneath our handles pressing out in front. For shoulder press, we're going to have the handles kind of behind our hands here. And then we're going to be pressing up, try to go straight up towards the ceiling with each rep, just going straight up like that. Then down to our shoulders. Okay, here we go. Let's press up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, I can only get 9 in there, but I'm going to keep the weight setting the same. I'm going to keep working towards getting the 10. If you're only at maybe, 7 or less, I'd probably drop the weight just a little bit, but I'm pretty close to finishing that out, so keeping it the same. Taking some of these lifts to failure is really going to stress the muscles a lot, which is going to, damage them. Your body then, when it recovers, it rebuilds that muscle fiber stronger, or that muscle tissue stronger. So All right, let's get in position though. All right, hands at shoulder height, and let's press it up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale on the way up. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, I only got 9 again, but I'm keeping that weight setting the same. I'm really gonna be pushing for 10 in this last set here. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but you know, as you do this, if you're writing everything down and you come back to the routine, what you can try to do the next time you do this routine is try to beat those numbers. You can either raise the resistance just a little bit or try to get 1 more rep in every set. You keep doing that, and I guarantee you, you know, you're gonna see some progress because you're gonna be getting stronger through, you know, through repetition. Okay, 5 seconds left. Let's get in position. Hands on those handles at shoulder height. Now let's press it up. That's 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. Tricep extensions are going to be up next. We're going to keep the bench at this angle position and everything, but we're going to drop our weight by about 1/3. So I'm going to be removing one of my my black bands down here. So for me, again, I count those as 40 pounds on each side. So I'm going from 130 pounds of resistance down to 90. So for this, we are going to be up here in this angled position here. Bring these handles up nice and high like we did for shoulder press. And then we're going to leave our elbows locked in place, bending at the elbow, and then extending these hands straight up and out. Okay, so we're starting here, and get your full extension here, bend those elbows, and now let's start. This is going to be 1 rep and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. That is a direct hit on those triceps. Really tough exercise there. We got 2 more sets of that coming up. Okay, less than 10 seconds remain. Let's get in position here. So again, we're gonna start with this fully extended position, and then we're gonna bring these hands back and then up and out. That's 1. 2, try to keep your elbows locked in place. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, one more set of tricep work, and then we go into a shoulder fly where we're going to be lying up against the side of this bench here, and we'll be adjusting the resistance when we get to that. Not so fast though. It is awfully hot in my garage today. I think I should have worn some gloves. My hands are kind of like sliding a little bit on the grips. It's a little late for me to add those now though, because we're almost done. We got 5 sets remaining, so there is no quitting now. Okay, let's get in position, arms fully extended, and then drop them back. That's 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Quick alternate for our final lift, the angled shoulder fly, and it's going to have the bench in the flat position, and then we swap out these short handles for the longer handles that came with the Bowflex. And then I'm going to be seated here with my hand through the handle, one arm on the crossbar, and then we're going to extend this arm out wide, just like that. Dropping my resistance here, I'm going from 90 pounds to 60 pounds of power rods. So dropping by another third here again. So now I'm just down to the normal, resistance that came with the machine. And we're going to get into this this exercise here, this shoulder extension or shoulder fly. So for this, I'm going to be leaning up against the bench here, and then I'm going to grab this handle here, just like this, and then I'm going to flare my elbow up and towards the sky, and then I'm going to be extending this handle out, just like that. So here we go. That's 1. And you should be feeling it in your shoulder, maybe a little bit in your tricep as well. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, let's write it down. I only got 9 in there. I'm feeling a little bit more fatigued than I thought I would be. Thought I had a full recovery coming into this routine, but my numbers are a little bit down from earlier in the week. Okay, leaning up against the bench here, elbow pointed out wide and extended out. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, another short rest interval, and we're going into the final set. I'm dropping my resistance just a little bit here. Okay, let's go ahead and get in position. Elbow pointed up high and extend it out. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. Final set coming up. And while we wait, I want to give a big shout out to my Ko-Fi Elite members, my Patreon Elite members. These folks help support the channel and all this content that I make here. Being a channel member gets you early access to this whole Foundations program, other programs I release on the channel, and also the full spreadsheet and everything else. It supports me directly. And I want to just say thank you to them. Here we go. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, awesome job on finishing out this routine. Don't forget to remove your power rods and wrap them up so they stay nice and strong. Also, if you're looking for more resistance, make sure you check out this resistance upgrade kit that I'll have linked in the description. It's a product that I designed specifically for this machine. So thank you again for joining me in this routine. And as always, I want you to be good to yourself, be good to others, and thank you for watching.